this. This is Match Bailey alongside my critic and partner in crime, Ricardo Medina.
Hello.
And we have made it here, folks. Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. This is episode 100 of Beers Beats and Bailey. How did this happen? Wow.
And the more things change, the more they stay the same.
I know, right? I know.
Yeah.
Still feeling like I'm in the underground. Just keep it real and all that kind of stuff for the underground podcasters out there, but real talk though, this is truly a milestone for me. I don't wanna, go into self-loading and say this is the only thing I've done great in my life. Like, I don't want to say that, but this really is an achievement though. I'm really feeling glad about this. And before I forget, I don't even want to wait until the very end of this episode, but Ricardo though, thank you so much for sticking around through all of this, through all the BS.
It's no problem.
I'm glad that you actually see the vision though, because I know, like, when you talk to other people, don't worry, I'm not gonna ramble here, you'll be like, what, a podcast, or what? We're talking about movies, but I
needed a cool dog and somebody to talk to it when it comes to film anyway. So it's like, a podcast is the best way to just dump out all my ideas and all the nonsense. Even though it's not a big set of crowd or whatever. It's no scene. It's
exactly,
fine.
and it's just to talk about it, which is something that I've always loved. I always try to encourage people to do that. Not just watch a movie, it was good, but talk about it, discuss what.
Right. One of the problems with internet shenanigans and just general conversations online, you just had a quote unquote one-upper person when it comes to opinions and who more cynical about who and all that bullshit. I was like, no, you just want to have a relatively healthy space to have a conversation about film. Surprisingly, in short supply, online, you'll be surprised that how many idiots will try to tell you, oh well, it have people out there who just want to make you feel like an idiot for liking something.
Of course, I know.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just try to put forward something that's at least one, intellectually honest as we can be, and two, be as charitable as I can be. I think that is probably the most important. Seeing it, calling for what it was. You'll have your angry moments and your meltdowns and your dismissals, Batman v Superman, and all the other shenanigans. But you put forward a space. Right, You put forward a space for what you could do and what you can't do. And for the most part, I decide to stick true. I somebody who don't abandon somebody. I do give him my opinions and my takes and how the show could have been forward and whatnot and whatnot. But
and I welcome those things, because I mean, I'm not gonna go out of my way to say just because I hit this milestone, this is perfect and I don't want to change. Of course not. There's many things that we have to improve upon. One thing,
so the
beginning of where we're gonna go, where we're gonna actually do our recording, equipment, all that jazz, But one thing, one considerable improvement that I've made, and I know it's a shame that I finally reached here, but it took a lot of digging, a lot of researching online. We on iTunes now.
Right. Lovely.
Yes, we are.
We should have done this from the start, but whatever.
I know. But now you see, I think with YouTube would have been more popular.
Right. That's the thing, online. That's the thing. It's not. We kind of, you enter the bad time. I always like to think of us as I don't know if you know in the video game Mass Effect 3. While all the war going on in the galactic survey, it had this one race that now discovered had a whole galactic civilization, not realizing that whole galactic civilization was under crisis at the time, and they decided to run away and hide back.
Wow.
That's how I just feel with this. Like, while we now covered up all that bullshit went on with YouTube and all the changes and shenanigans, and really had to come good now. Like, we just couldn't just go in straight. I mean, I'd like to consider my colleague of ours. He almost reached 10,000 on one of his videos and it was pulled.
Unfortunate.
So unfortunate that
actually got me really pissed off though.
It was really, really unfortunate, and I was like, all right, that's all bullshit though. So. It's just the sad part, and we really have still a disadvantage being here in the Caribbean. But no, we could still, as this year, you keep on keeping on. So
that's what it is. I mean, this last thing I'll say, I mean, I can't say for now what the future of this program will be, and I'm not saying, I'll say this right off the bat, we're not gonna end things off on a bitter note, definitely not. Because I mean, we both have dreams, we both have aspirations in terms of film anyway. So this is just a platform for us to just really keep. To more or less hold on to our passion, because that's the one thing that keeps us going. Even with this program here, this keeps us going. So, I mean, if this is your first time listening to this program here, please feel free to check out all the stuff that we've done before. You'll see our slow, gradual progress from episode 1, where we were right outside of this restaurant, which was next to IMAX. You know, when we saw what is we saw? We saw
Terminator.
We saw Terminator Genesis.
No, Terminator Genesis. Yeah. Just terrible.
Yeah. To think that garbage movie would have been the genesis of Beers, Beats, and Bailey. Yes?
Right. Right. No, but as I said, I'm really glad we got to this point as well. I have no complaints in that sense. As I said, the only issue is that some of the logistics could have gotten. But at the same time, I wanted to see how we could do this as cheaply as possible, and want to see what it is the limits of this tech could be in this current climate of media consolidation. Let's just call it that for now.
Right.
And I think it's such a relatively simple space you could use. All you need is this, a mic. All you need is one mic, as the great Nas said it.
Yeah, all you need is one mic.
You just push forward with what you're doing, and you just get a decent, comfortable space, and that's enough. And that's all you need. I mean, that's the nature of the podcast business. That's what it is. You don't need any more than. Exactly. And it's just luck, and then hope people like you. That's it. Pure luck.
Which is still an uphill struggle for me. But you could definitely bet that I'm gonna keep on fighting, just to get more listens, more views, and just get more positive feedback. How else would I get better? How else will we get better?
I'll admit there's a lot of speed bumps and discouragements going on along the line, especially to see how other people who became massively popular, how they come crashing and burning down, like namely Doug Walker and company, right?
Oh boy.
That is like such a sad story, but I would argue that is very avoidable. It's more just listening to people, having respect for people, damn time and effort.
Yeah, that's the thing, and just really respect people and their gifts, and their beliefs and whatnot. Yeah, but but moving along now, because we have some stuff to talk about for sure.
Right.
For one thing, all right. So movie wise, we're gonna talk about the long-awaited animated film from Warner Brothers, not to be confused with Warner Brothers Animation. I'll talk about that just now. Batman Ninja.
Right. That came out.
We'll talk about Blockers, which is it's the directorial debut from writer Kay Cannon. She worked on films like the Pitch Perfect trilogy, 30 Rock, and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah. Also, just to close things off, we will talk about that monster movie, boy. That monster monkey movie, boy.
Yeah.
With the rock of all people, Rampage.
Yeah, I am pretty excited for that. And going into it, I heard a couple of surprisingly good reviews, because the trailers just didn't win me over at all. It looked like some flat stuff. And look, I like rock like anybody else, this one looked really flat. But there's a little bit of a surprise, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, but before all of that, though, we will talk about TV. So one particular show that ended 2 weeks ago. I know it's late, but I guess we might as well talk about it.
Right, I want to talk about
season 1 of the CW's Black Lightning. But before we get to all of that, we gotta talk about we boy and the week that he's been having, or at least a couple of weeks he's been having.
Whose man's you're talking about, boy?
Mr. Yeezy, man, Mr. Kanye West himself.
Yeah, versus the people.
So first off, he started off with this big announcement. Well, when I say big, I mean through Twitter, that some albums will be coming. He will be pushing out some albums. I believe it's in June, if I'm not mistaken. So for one thing, big shocker, he's going to be putting out a Nas album. So wow, he's going to be handling.
Right. I was pretty surprised by that. Because
so I don't know if this would be like Commons B, for example. Maybe, I don't know, but I'm excited. Yeah.
Right, and that's the thing. Look, Kanye, I love Kanye to death in terms of his music.
Me too.
And especially his first 3 albums, love it.
Oh yeah.
I loved I forget the name of the album.
Love it.
Yeah, and then the album. Then he did the crossover with Jay-Z, which was great. Then he did which I forget the name of the album, but the album that had Mercy and Click on it. Love that.
The Cruel Summer, right?
But I only like Mercy and Click on it. And then and then all of his production going back, how many great tracks he did for Cameron, how many great tracks he did for Jay-Z, how many great tracks he did for, it's just incalculable. How many great songs he did for Scarface. Come on.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the lines, and I'll count exactly when I think it happened, when his mom died.
Yes.
Something happened, and my boy just kind of He doesn't seem to have gone off the deep end for the most part. I mean, and this is what has happened when you... And I have no problem saying Kanye West is a genius. I have no problem saying that. But yeah, one is, as I say, remember we talk about Teddy Perkins?
Yeah.
Talk about Teddy Perkins, yeah. Genius. There's a thin line between musical genius and insanity, and that pathology that could manifest, and you kind of seen it manifest in real time.
Right.
Now, for lack of a better term, basically he ventured himself into the political sphere. This is not new. Is not unprecedented, because he did it when this particular person we're going to mention, by name of Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. When he just became president, Kanye West hug him up and shake hand and whatnot. Yeah. And people was like, oh, they make a big deal about it. And he was like, well, I just want a picture. So and so. Then apparently he come out to be in full support of Donald Trump, apparently, in recent memories, and other people getting an uproar over it. Apparently he's a conservative now, maybe. He had a big he wear the MAGA hat, which was funny.
Make America great again.
Right, the MAGA hat. And then, what's funny about that is somebody made a Photoshop with the hat, the Teddy Perkins hat that Darius was wearing, you mad?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody did that. A Photoshop of it. Was funny.
Wow.
But the thing is, he jumping around because all of a sudden he consider this girl who's very, very politically left at this point in her life and career. Well, she doesn't really have a career at this point in her life, but in her life right now, this is this girl Gonzalez, who's probably the head of the new with David Hogg, involving with the school shooting that they had now. This girl, she's a Hispanic, I think Cuban American. She's also gay, LGBT, and she. Kanye West also consider her a hero. So okay. I don't know what Kanye West, what he up to. It's good timing as well, because apparently a bunch of conservatives jump on his side. They want to support him. Then they're not sure if they want to be a hero, because he flipped back and support. I forget her first name, but it's Gonzalez, I think. And he just jumped in a rug. And again, the nature of the internet and celebrity status at this point in our human history is that fame is just fame. It don't really matter anymore, because you'll get a bunch of people on your side whether or not it doesn't matter. Yeah. In the moral case of Donald Trump, I do have some big problems with Donald Trump, especially when it comes to him catering to the more insidious elements of American society. Yeah. Even though he's not necessarily part of that, he has catered to a lot of conspiracy theories, a lot of racist conspiracy theories, in my opinion. Most notably that of the Central Park Five. You can look up that history of Donald Trump and that relation, and then most notably of the conspiracy theory of Barack Obama's birth certificate, right? And I always had a big problem with that. Look, Donald Trump is a character, we know. But he really crossed the line in some really insidious ways, because even if he don't believe it, he still caters to it, and that in itself is still a problem, in my opinion. Regardless how you think of your politics, I don't particularly consider myself too left-wing or too leftist. In certain circles, I don't consider myself a particularly woke guy, if you want to call it like that. I don't have the best politically correct positions in my actual life and opinions, but it does not matter. Yeah, intellectual honesty matters more than all of that. And I think catering to this is very, very dishonest, and I have a problem. And I don't care how much mental health problems you have, you're still making a decision. Right. And you still have moral responsibility in that sense. This is where Kanye West is losing me, right? Yeah. I don't really care if he playing a double game and he playing a double agent kind of something. I don't really care. That's a problem, and it's largely very irresponsible what he is doing, regardless of if he thinks or what he doesn't think in this domain. It's a cynical way to play it, in my opinion. It feels like that. It doesn't feel honest. Mm-hmm. Right? He claims to say that he wants to play honesty. He's catering to people who are intellectuals on the conservative side, intellectuals who I do respect. But it still doesn't feel sincere. That's the main point I try to push forward when it comes to this kind of stuff. I don't care how much money it make you or whatever it is. And a lot of people will say, he just playing everybody for a fool, and they're going to make and buy albums anyway or something like that. But still, it's a problem. Here's the thing though, I can't consider myself too intellectual high and mighty on a soapbox with this, because I'm most likely going to buy the Nas album, to tell you the truth.
Definitely.
To keep it 100, right?
I mean, it's Nas. Come on.
Right, yeah. To keep it 100. And even though Nas did used to with shenanigans, right? With the very, very bitter divorce with Khalees and all the nastiness that come out from that, right?
Yeah.
So it's all of that. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. You could dismiss everything I say simply because I'm most likely going to buy that Nas album. Yeah. Right? More than likely. It's goddamn Nas. Come on. Very rarely.
But on the subject of politics, right? Remember that one time at the VMAs when he said he was running for president,
Right. That's a big part of it too, because you're not sure if it's a game he playing. Again, it's the same cynical approach that Donald Trump used to get to power, and that's my problem. It feels like that now. Mm-hmm. It feels as is this your real opinion? Not really. You're just catering to a crowd. Like, look, it have politician lie and then have Donald Trump politician lie, and it's this really blatant kind of stuff that people have no problem ignoring. But whatever, it's fine. When it comes to I don't really have an issue with it. But going forward, what is interesting with Kanye is that, right? Well, we didn't talk about the big news is what went down with Bill Cosby, and I was waiting for something.
Yeah.
Right, and I was waiting for somebody to pull up the tweet of Kanye defending Bill Cosby. So, but nobody do it. Apparently, nobody want to stir that pot that much. Right. But yes, the pot was stirred. well done this week with the internet. The pot was perfectly stirred. But I don't know. It things go on because now history is being made, and now Donald Trump looking kind of good because of the whole North Korea South Korea thing. Well, it had nothing to talk about. Album's coming out, and I'm most likely gonna buy Nas' album to keep it 100.
Yeah, I mean, because it's Nas, right? But also Kanye is bringing out his album as well. He says it's 7 tracks long, so okay.
Right, which I don't worried about. Yeah, once I hear the short list of tracks, I'll dismiss the album almost immediately. But I don't think with Kanye, the issue is that whenever I hear these short albums going forward, I was almost immediately dismiss it. Like, look, I like some of his later albums. I kind of like Life of Pablo, but I can't see myself sitting down and listen to Life of Pablo.
It feels like filler. Like the majority of the album feels like filler. And I honestly haven't listened to that album since I did that review. Like the day after it came out, literally on this program. Yeah. But
even Jesus and 808 Heartbreaks, I can't get myself to sit down and listen to those albums. Only his first 3 I had to sit down.
Well, to me, his last best album was My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And the thing is, the first couple of times I heard it, I was like, all right, it's good, but a little too grandiose for me to really feel it. But then, quite recently, I listened to it over again. I was like, oh my god, this album is great.
Yeah. I could defend you on that. But for me, Watch the Throne and is the last stuff I enjoy from him.
Yeah.
Just Watch the Throne stuff with Jay-Z. Right. Only Watch the Throne stuff from Jay-Z, I could listen to that, and then, but that's it. I mean, I can't get myself to listen to any of his reasons because it just feel like an experimental kind of phase, which is great. I love that. I prefer that and the same old shit. But from what I understand, you gotta listen to Ye versus the People. It's pretty good. It's a good track. I like it.
I really on it. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So I wondered if you're going to get some classic Kanye, the old joke, you miss the old Kanye, right? So
yeah. One complaint I have with that song though is that it kind of feels like just thoughts in the head now. Like they just although I guess that's the idea, it's supposed to feel like conversational, but it's
very free association.
Yeah.
It's very free association. I actually like that. But then he has another track with the shloopity boop thing.
Oh boy, that is what I was holding up for. I was holding up for that, right?
That coming out. So wait, Kanye, you're tapping into future now?
No, but here's the big thing about it though, because there are tons of reaction videos to this and they are hilarious, right? So I actually went into this song, right? Lift Yourself. Starts off very nice, has this nice kind of gospel beat, right? And then Kanye is like, okay, you want to hear a great verse? Then there's poopity scoop. Scoop-dee-dee-boop. Boop-dee-scoop-dee-boop. And I'm like,
that's some future bullshit.
I know, that had me in stitches, swear to God.
Yeah, but I was like,
Kanye was trolling people, but it's I don't know, for me, I was thinking, it's just the mindset to be this influential and sit down and say, here's what, right? And I know the people want to hear a song from her, don't mind the heat, me because of supporting Trump, but let me just fuck with him just a little bit, so that we throw this one out.
That's the thing, we could get into that debate about responsibility and if you owe anybody anything, and that's our kind of interesting space that any celebrity is in. Doesn't matter who you are. Does a celebrity owe anybody anything? They could just fuck around and do it and be themselves? Maybe. Do they have to be responsible in terms of the image? Maybe. But Kanye is a person that I will concede. There's a term for people like him is what you call, is a term from a person who I kind of think I call anti-fragile, which is, you could just have a way called giving no fucks and having fuck you money, and you could just do what you want. He's kind of immortal in that sense. It doesn't matter who support him. Unless he gets into an actual crime or some kind of actual sexual scandal or something like that, he's pretty much untouchable at this point. I mean, in that sense now. And even I would argue, even if he gets into trouble in that domain, still he'll probably be fine.
Right.
For the most part. But although it really, there's a lot of forces that really need to destroy that right now, which I fully support. Fuck Bill Cosby. I don't really care about that guy at this point.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
So I don't really have to see with that.
All the DVDs of the Cosby Show and the
So,
spin-off.
right, the running joke is just put your boy like how they replace Kevin Spacey with thing.
Oh Lord.
replace Bill Cosby with
Radio something.
Christopher Plummer. No, Christopher Plummer.
Oh Lord,
just put Christopher Plummer. I did on the episode.
Cosby Show, like think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute.
But it's at this point it's like it I'm not really wrapped up in it. Like, look, if you hate Kanye West, like absolutely hate Kanye West on this, I don't blame you. Like I don't know where it's going. That's my problem with it now. And it's wherever you think Trump could be, he could be, and is that kind of workable chaos that they're thriving off of, which I personally think is in itself irresponsible. Catering to that randomness and chaos. But whether he's a musician, you don't have to give a fuck.
Exactly.
Does not have to give a fuck. Sorry, he's not the president. So whatever. Yeah. So I don't know where that. By the way, people dismiss him as Kanye West and Kanye West and Kanye Tutti and all that bullshit. Whatever, we'll see.
It don't matter. When June comes and them albums come out, that's all.
We'll find out exactly because we'll see. It's how much people go and buy them albums. We'll test if people really gonna boycott him. I don't think that's gonna happen, especially that Nas album.
Yeah,
especially that Nas album because that shit gonna be fucking fire.
Yeah, but
exactly.
but last things I have to say, right? So for the Kanye album, I'm just hoping that we don't get any designer feature, right? Please. Truly, because like seriously, it's a whole glut of them young rappers that need to just go away. They have no style, no originality, just a waste of goddamn time, and them just need to go away. For example, and speaking of which, also I just had to mention briefly the J. Cole album that came out on 420 man, KOD, where the last track apparently.
I haven't listened to it yet.
Well, I actually listened to it. It's pretty decent. It's better than the For Your Eyes Only. It's way more entertaining, but it's still kind of a drag. Like I don't know. New J. Cole is more like I don't know, just slow and he's not as lively as he used to be.
Well, the one person
fans is like try to defend his music, but even then will admit like, what's with this kind of slow laid back J. Cole, lethargic J. Cole basically,
Right.
But the last track in particular is what people were really talking about, where basically on the track he's just addressing like the new school rappers, right? The young rappers that we just mentioned, right? Saying basically, well, don't be following trends because that trend that you're riding right now won't even be relevant in the next 5 years. So you gotta have a plan. How are you going to progress in terms of an artist? You can't be saying the same crap again and again and again, right? And don't be surprised if next thing you end up in love and hip hop basically. The name of the track is 1985 Intro to the Fall Off. And a lot of people, interpret it as a straight diss to Lil Pump. Like, I don't know if he was addressing Lil Pump directly, but apparently Pump kind of took offense at it, and I think they had some falling out in the past for something that I don't even care about. I mean, it's Lil Pump. I mean, who cares? But yeah, a lot of people was like, "Oh my God, you taking that from J. Cole now, boy?" All that kind of stuff. But yeah,
right. Anyway, the one thing I want to talk about the only album I want to kind of reference is maybe what I call it, boy. Janelle Monáe's new album came out. I actually really like it a lot, but
it did?
Yeah. She put out this big music video. Basically, it's like a big extended version of like all her music videos, and then a bunch of extra stuff. This kind of long form movie thing that's about an hour long. Well, a little less than an hour long. Like 40.
The Beyonce Lemonade thing.
Right. Right. And it's great. She's totally tapping into Prince right now, and she's totally tapping into like a lot of great stuff. She's such in a great place as a career. But I'll be honest, I don't like this album anywhere near as much as her first album. But it's really, really good, and I don't like it as much as her second album. But it's still a great album. She has a track with Zoe Kravitz that's excellent.
All right.
Really, really love it. But that's about it. Everybody, it's an interesting time right now.
Yeah. Well, personally, I have avoided watching the videos. Not because it's not like I hate Janelle Monáe. I love her music and all that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to go in completely blind. I mean, I heard about that one video that she did with Tessa Thompson, and quite last week actually she came out as being this
okay, so in this
and all that kind of stuff. But
right, no, wait, what you should do, right? So
album blind,
Right, so what you should do is, like, if you're watching the video, because the video has that video in it, so it's this long form thing, and you'll get to see all of it in one, and it's supposed to have an extended version of all of this stuff. It's extended versions of the videos that came out. So you don't need to watch the videos individually. Just watch it as one long thing. And I thought it was great. And there's an uncensored version because I had one on BET that was kind of censored, and then they have the extended version that kind of uncensored. And not really, it is extended and longer, and it maybe like have a few extra curse words in it. I think that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. But yeah, it's great stuff. If you're a fan of Janelle Monáe right now, I totally, you'll be loving yourself.
Right.
But I'll admit, I don't like this album anywhere near as much as the first two albums.
Okay, well, teach his own, right? But I'll give it a listen and a view if I get a chance. So, speaking of designer, weird segue. Now we're gonna get into season 1 of the CW's Black Lightning.
Right.
I'll just start things off, right? So, for me, the release of this show, right? Because I wasn't really I saw the trailer for it that they had. I believe it was for last year's Comic-Con. I think it was. But I really didn't know when it was going to come out. I just figured, it looks cool, kind of interesting. All right, a lot of sparks and electricity and all that kind of stuff. Haven't heard of Black Lightning before. I think
he's a reasonably current, like in between DC character that's around, but he's not that particularly popular, admittedly. And then the one big thing about him is that he was supposed to be in the original Super Friends, because remember there was a character called Black Vulcan.
Yes, that was the character that I knew now. So it's like
right. So what happened is that the creators of Black Lightning they were asked them to allow them to put the characters in, and they said no. So they just make up Black Vulcan to replace him. And it's more or less it's roughly a similar power set anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Here's the thing. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the bad with this show first, and then we'll get to the good, because I will straight up say it. The good strongly outweighs the bad. Like it's utterly shocking. It's utterly shocking how impressed I was with this first season. I didn't expect this to be so good, Dread. Okay, so the initial stuff that I know, you mentioned it last time, but I'm going to bring it up, which is it comes across as a cynical ride in the coattails of Black Panther.
Yes,
right?
I was going to say that. From the
like
release of it to the tease
the
of it,
timing.
It really does have that kind of Black Panther
but in my head I was like, all right, well, I'm going to more compare it to Luke Cage, how they do Luke Cage. And then within a couple episodes, I'm like, all right, this already doing what Luke Cage did, but better though, in my opinion. In terms of like black issues and what in the community. And then I thought, all right, the whole show going to be about this. And it wasn't. They say, okay, it's just a thing. They make it an issue, but they move on one time.
And that's one thing I really love though, because
so
for the first few episodes, I was worried that this is going to be some kind of Black Lives Matter kind of propaganda.
Right, and I thought that's not a big
bog down the whole show. Like every episode is going to be this is what's going on in America.
Right.
Be careful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, and I thought the whole show would be about that. Nope, the show moves on really quickly. Now I'm saying the bad because it starts off and feels a bit slow and boring in that way. So here's some of the bad. First bad. A lot of the set pieces and quote unquote action is kind of weak for me. Some of the action sequences coming on later was okay and not half bad, but I was really underwhelmed with a lot of the action in this. It really feels like if I forget the actor's name, but the guy who plays Jefferson just feels like he just kind of he just kind of phoning it in when it comes to what to do with the action and a lot of that.
Right.
Whatever. His outfit itself, hate it. Hate Black Lightning outfit. Sorry.
It's kind of cheesy.
Yeah, no, I hate it. It's a terrible design. The neon don't work. It looks a little too bulky, and because he doesn't have a particularly decent body shape, like he looks good in a suit. But in the Black Lightning outfit,
but I don't know. But I do agree with you, because when he walks, he has this kind of bulky kind of walk, like
it look weird.
If he could tip over, he might fall.
At any time, exactly. It look weird. The outfit is a terrible design. They need to redesign it. Because the thing is, we are bringing to the two characters I really like, which is his daughters. Those outfits are great, especially the first daughter.
The second. Thunder's own.
Thunder,
my God.
Thunder's outfit is excellent.
That moment when she puts it on and she walks out with it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and because when the outfit they had where they showed in the promo, they had a promo outfit where we saw earlier. I hated it. I thought it was too bright. It looking a little weird, and they clearly like took that and they I don't know. They probably read my mind and say, okay, they fix everything that they should have fixed with our outfit by the time we see it in the show.
Yeah.
And the final product looked great. Second problem, because of the action and because the action and some of the pace and some of the characterization, at least initially, was a bit weak. A lot of it felt a little slow. It felt a little dated. Like, I don't know who the showrunner was, but he felt like somebody from the 90s. So, at a couple times I feel like I was watching Mantis, if you remember that show.
Good point. Because there were a few moments, especially with the setup and everything. Especially with with this guy,
the villain, Lala.
Well, sorry, not Lala. Well, I'll get to Lala.
Tobias.
But the tech guy, James Remmer, right?
Right, Ground.
I was getting a Mantis vibe where you have to have the white man tell you, okay, this suit can withstand this. Go over here, go over there. You know what I mean? But I was getting a kind of Mantis vibe from that.
And I was wondering who the showrunner is, because it's like, wait, the showrunner feeling kind of old, but then they modernize it in a good way, and then the show picks up in such a good way. And I'll say by episode 8, that is when the show got so good for me. I was like, wait, they address everything, and they, like, when you think about it, it's like, wait, they avoid all the like the typical superhero bullshit though. Like all the, I need to learn a lesson, and I need to learn the morals and responsibility of my powers. Like, no, Jefferson's a grown-ass man who actually know his shit. Exactly. And actually like dealing with real moral problems though. Like, I love all of that. And then they do good character arcs for everything. Even though it's still comic book cheesiness, especially when they bring back a certain character's boyfriend, which was hilarious, but pretty awesome.
but him trying to play bad was funny. It was funny.
Right, that was funny, but it worked. It worked for the most part, given the comic book silliness of it all.
But his power then is like pose, pew, pew, pew.
You know? But then eventually... Yeah, but when they do it, what the real strength of the show is, well, I'm not going to get into the good now. The real strength of the show is the family. That family and how they interact with each other. Yes. The just the sheer charisma of all 4 of them together. I love Jefferson with his wife. Love Jefferson with his 2 daughters. Yeah. The 2 daughters together good. The daughters with the mother good. All 4 of them bouncing off each other, no matter which combination and permutation you put them in together with, works. Yeah. All 4 of them together good. Any 3 of them together good. Like, remember they had to like hide some information about with the sister. That was good. When the mother having to talk to the father when the father was in trouble, that was good.
Yeah.
And everything was working. And then when Gambi and you learn Gambi's story involving Jefferson, that was good. Some of the villains are a little too over the top and great, but then they brought like the other villains, and they have a lot of villains in it. Like, it's like when you add up everything, there are a lot to juggle in the show, and it juggled it all and managed everything well. And I was like, but this like actually really fucking well done though. For the most part, I was thinking, you're thinking you're gonna give the quote unquote the black show a break. Like, no, it kind of is the best CW show for me. Other than Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, well, apart from Legends, yeah.
Other than Legends of Tomorrow, it's like, yeah, but it's like one of the better CW shows. I was enjoying it more than Flash. I'm going to straight up tell you that. And I was enjoying Flash's season, but like, they had such a clear vision of what they wanted to do. It had such a clear focus on what they wanted to do. They had an advantage, admittedly, by just being 13 episodes, so that was better. Mm-hmm. And to me, from episodes 8 to the finale, was just simply excellent in my opinion. Loved it. Love what they do with the daughter. Love what they do with the 2 daughters. Love what they do with the arc with all the characters, and how, especially with Tobias's arc. That whole thing with Jill Stott was great. What was going on with Lala was pretty awesome, and we're not sure what's going on with him still, because it's quite possibly not dead. Like, whoa,
yeah, it's like no, you wouldn't have kill him off like that, right?
Right. I just really enjoyed what they do. Again, the final villain was a little too rushed, and they overdo the whole "Make America" Trump crap a little too much, but whatever. Yeah. I really enjoyed this season. I thought it was great what they did with it. Gambi and Jefferson was great. Jefferson's backstory and his dad was great. That whole mystery thing involving all of the metas with the black people whose metas, and they kind of link it to the Tuskegee experiment thing. Yes. That was great. Then they did all the backstory with the vice principal being a scamp. It's like, oh shit, she's a scamp? Awesome.
Yeah, boy.
Right?
Caught me off guard too.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And I love what they did with everything. And they made everything, I thought they made almost everything, virtually everything in this worked for the most part. Not much else to say for me. From next time, I'm just gonna give him a quick rating, and you could talk. But after you talk, I'll give him a rating.
Right. Okay. So I agree with you for the most part. Right. So first, my bad. Right. Villains, especially with Lala and Tobias Whale, who is played excellently by Marvin Jones III, who certain diehard hip hop fans would know as Crondon. He's part of the Strong Arm Steady crew. They do collabos with they did a collabo with Talk Valley back in the good old days, right? But anyway, so he actually surprised me. He's like but the thing about him though is that at first he kind of came off a little too threatening, like too vicious. He's that type of person who would just kind of talk bad, shoot you down like in cold blood basically, or beat you up or whatever. And at times I felt it was going a little too far, like making him like real kind of one-dimensional. But then later on, when you pair him with Jill Scott, who I thought was great, I wish that she had more screen time.
Because what they did with her, I thought was really interesting. And I thought Like when she showed up, I was like, oh shit, Jill Scott playing a fucking villain. And I was like, wait, who's she playing? Okay, Lady Eve. What? Then they totally changed Lady Eve, but it was a good call. Like like compared to the comics, they totally changed the character. I was like, holy shit, there's a real good change, because Tobias is like roughly the same as what he is in the comic.
Right.
Roughly. They roughly the same template. We get what he is. I mean, they manage him for what they had to do in this world, but Lady Eve is a totally different character though. Okay, like she's nothing like what you.
I knew nothing about Lady Eve, right? Yeah.
Right.
Lala. First couple episodes, I was like, all right, you're
him, right?
Cliche drug dealer guy.
Right.
You want to beat up
and then what they do with him?
Because you're not doing your job, but come on, easy on the cliches, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That kind of thing. But then they bring him back.
Right. And it was fucking awesome. It's like, holy shit.
All right, but the skill set took a while for me to understand. I was like, okay, how do you have these powers again? But then they kind of explain, but they still have it like a little mystery box thing. I was like, okay, I get.
No, well, okay. So I would argue it's still a mystery box, because he ended up getting these powers right when Lady Eve died.
Yes.
Right? Quote unquote died. So I was like, wait, that power set connected to her in some way, and it might be because she whole thing is about death and resurrection and that kind of stuff now.
Yes.
And then Tobias explained, well, no, the resurrection stuff is connected to you. So it's like, wait, that is connected. I wouldn't be surprised by season 2 they'll explain to me immediately that he's gonna come back and it's connected to Lady Eve's powers.
Right.
And her power set, she's still roaming about as a spirit or something like that. Like that's how she operates.
Yeah.
So she could have like another body or something like that. He ain't sure now.
Mm-hmm.
So she could come back, and you don't know what they're going to do with it, because the writers could change up whatever they do to suit the story. Right. But I really enjoyed the second half of his arc. Like he was doing the cotton mouth thing now.
Yes,
and
he was. Yeah.
You're just talking shit, but you're not sure what you're going to, and then they just make him real hard later on in the season. Like, wait, you get real dark though, but they make it work.
Yeah, they
make it real work.
Totally did.
Yeah.
I really wasn't feeling Cyanide. And it's only later on where they actually give out her name as Cyanide. She is the henchwoman of Tobias. She's that quiet, cold, deadly assassin who could, kill.
But explain her backstory, and that was kind of cool.
It was kind of cool, but she just still came off as generic to me, right?
Right.
But yeah, apart from the villains, though, another bad thing, some of the songs that they use here, right? Well, some of the original songs that they use for the series here. So they use mostly like rap. And R&B and the occasional, soul song from the 70s and whatnot, right? The soul songs were on point, right? Like especially in the final episode where they use "Stairway to Heaven" in a really emotional scene with Black Lightning and his dad, which but it's like taking this song which essentially is like a love song, but then twisting it as in, okay, well, this is my dad, I'm not seeing him anymore, and all that kind of stuff. It was really nice, right? But some of like the original songs that they use here, especially like the theme song for Black Lightning, took a while for me to get into it. Like I was hearing it,
just felt
kind of
like
TV rap music.
That is one of the bad. Yeah, that's one of the bad.
Black.
Yeah.
For the streets, Black Lightning's back, and I'm supposed to feel
they had to drop that.
Yeah,
they have to drop that
like
because that's a song too.
Yeah, that was like 90s hip, like 90s.
Yeah, that's 90s bullshit. They should have dropped that. That's why I keep getting the show as like a dated 90s show there.
Yeah, and
like it totally feel like.
Yeah. Speaking of that, the composer of this song turns out to be Kurt Farquhar, right? Who used to do music for shows like Sister Sister and Moesha.
Right.
So it's like again this kind of TV kind of vibe now. Like shows like Empire just get away with that because the music is catchy enough, you could let the kind of corny lyrics slide now, And they need to
update that music for a new theme song or something like that. But the theme song don't work at all.
Exactly.
I agree. That's one of the bad.
There was like two instances in the show where you hear the full quote unquote song of it playing, and they're really not feeling this. Like, just stop the song. Stop the song. But they do use some other songs as well. Like I heard like Earth, Wind and Fire in one scene. Yeah, some other like classic, soul songs and whatnot. But the one song that catch me, that catch everybody. I actually went up on Twitter and posted up. Timmy Turner from Designer for the second to last action sequence in the movie. In the series. And for some shocking reason, it worked.
It totally worked.
Because Timmy Turner is dark in a sense. It just worked perfectly with this sequence, boy. I was like, my God. Like when you hear Timmy Turner, it works though. I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? And they play the entire song and it worked. Every second of it worked. So props to whoever picked that song and decided, hey, let's use this.
Yeah, it was a good call. Totally good call.
Good call.
But that's the thing, I'll say, okay, so I should have done more research in terms of who do the show running, but I get the feeling it was that same old person, because one of the reasons that the Iron Fist first season failed so magnificently is because the showrunner was an old guy. It was a guy who just didn't really have a good sense of any kind of modern approach to storytelling, especially when it comes to
anything about kung fu movies.
No, it's an older guy who just, but I might feel like it's such a 90s show now.
Right.
And he made the point about that. He was like saying, all right, well, I'm gonna have to make this work, and you get that feeling with Black Lightning. Black Lightning has its moments that really does feel dated, I'll admit. Especially some of the dialogue, some of the approaches, some of the storytelling in some ways. But because they pack so much into it and they made everything work so streamlined. And again, from episode 8, when they just did such excellent pacing in terms of all the storytelling and all these multiple facets lining up with each other, it just ended up paying off in the best way. So I didn't have any big issues with it.
There's a few more things before we get to it, right? So, little pacing issues here or there in the series. It does take a long for certain things to happen. Also, once again, just like those 90s shows, especially like Mantis, you always have that moment where Black Lightning is like incapacitated and he can't function and he's weak and you need to carry him back to base and you need to work on him, and it's always like that close to the to be continued kind of thing. Now I always felt like there were moments like that. Not expecting him to be some kind of superhuman, some kind of Superman who could like dodge bullets and just come out of any situation unscathed, but still there were moments where it's like, all right, this is gonna happen, and then they had to stop, and then he's close to death, but then he's gonna come back up, he's gonna resuscitate anyway, and then he's gonna come back and fight. It did feel like one of those old shows from like back in the 90s. Now I can remember Mantis, and if you remember way back, shows like Super Force, you were notorious for situations like that, where you always just end the show with the hero being hurt or damaged, and then it's to be continued, so No, but okay, so I think some of the pacing, some of the episodes are a little off, but for me, I thought the pacing was great in terms of just sussing out like everybody. So they sussed out the two sisters' powers one time. Yeah.
I love that.
And I really, really, really loved how the youngest one
she was great.
The youngest one, Jennifer.
Yeah.
How she got her powers and how she was trying to acclimatize it. I love that. Jennifer, on the other hand, sorry, not Jennifer, Anissa. Her transition into being a hero was a little sketchy as well, especially with her trying to come out to her girlfriend and then break up, and then her trying to get the new suit, something the way. Right. Took a little while to really pick up, but then when she got that new suit, it was like, all right, now I feel better.
It was working.
And I actually like her powers. It took me a while because like, okay, you had to inhale and then you have this super strength all of a sudden. But when she put it to use, especially with that suit, it's like, okay, yeah.
And what I like about it too is that they suss out all the things about the characters, like everything about characters being like, okay, the character's gay, and they just make it a passé thing. Like, we know, and they move on. Like this, all of the bullshit that another show would have waste a ton of time on.
Of course.
They just move on. Like if it's a normal thing, it's like, good. That's how you need to move on. And I liked what they did that with Jefferson himself. Jefferson was Black Lightning. He stopped being Black Lightning for a good reason, and then come back to being Black Lightning for a good reason. Yeah. Right? And I like that. So he knows how to be Black Lightning. They have no learning curve bullshit. Yeah. Hate that. Like, look, I know shows have to do it and you have to go through it, but this show like learn to jump all of that storytelling nonsense,
right?
And get it, and you totally buy it because it feels established from here on in. Anyway,
another character I really liked though. Another character I really liked as well. Don't worry, I'm gonna round things up. Was Billy Henderson, the cop who helps out Black Lightning.
Oh yeah. I thought he was great too. Yeah,
love the relationship together. But overall, in terms of performances, I was really impressed by everyone in this show. There was hardly any person that really came out stilted or flat. Well, with the exception of Anissa's ex, when he turns to the dark side, he was trying to play evil, and then the skill set.
Jennifer's ex. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, Jennifer. My bad. Right.
His arc was kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
What cracked me up with is my boy Gra Ras here. So like, are you serious?
Your boy. Yeah, but I do agree with you, Ricardo. The last half of this series really does pick up. It's strong. The action sequences work. The music works. The characters work as well. Like, it was around that time when I was like, all right, now I'm feeling Tobias. Now I'm really feeling him. He's not just some tough guy, tough albino guy. There's some depth to this guy. He has ambition. I love that. So yeah, for the most part, I do agree with you. This was a solid first season. It did take a while to really pick up, but when it does, it just goes straight in without stopping. And this was pretty impressive. So I can't wait to see what they do with season 2. So I know you was holding back on it, so give the rating.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. I thought this was really, really solid business for me. As I say, it started off slow, but it felt like it was feeling like an adult version of the Static Shock cartoon from the 2000s. That's what it was feeling like. It was feeling like if Static Shock grew up. It really feel like that. And speaking of that, you have a ton of great black superhero characters you could bring into this, because you have a ton of great black DC characters we still haven't seen yet in the CW universe, because I'm assuming this is one other universe. Like, it's just another world. We're not sure if it's connected or not.
I'm thinking that it's within the same Arrowverse.
Maybe.
I would like to assume that it is.
Well, okay, so they do make mention of Supergirl, and they do make mention of Vixen. So we heard these characters' name dropped in the world, so not sure where they are exactly, wherever. But the thing is that what I liked about it is that it just worked in that sense. I kind of lose my train of thought for 2 seconds, but basically, they could bring in some another great other characters that we could see. Like, I do think the show has a little too much of a bias towards black characters, but that's the nature of the show. Whatever. Static Shock, he could come true.
Yeah, I don't mind seeing him. He could be like an understudy to Black Lightning. Like,
they could have him come in the storyline. We will see. I don't know what they're going to do with him, but most likely he'll probably be the big highlight for season 2. Icon is a great character. He's basically like a black Superman, essentially. And his Icon and what was that girl name, boy? Icon and Rocket, right? Those two characters. Yeah, two great characters they could bring in, and basically doing McDuffie type characters they could bring in. They could bring in Bronze Tiger. He could come true.
Oh yes. Who I saw quite recently in that Suicide Squad movie that you
exactly.
Reviewed,
they could bring him in. He's a cool character. They can bring him in, and they could have a bunch of other DC characters who don't have to be black. They could just bring them in. But the show is clearly catered towards people of color, so we will see. I don't know what we're gonna do with it, but I really enjoyed the show. I thought it was solid. I didn't have any major issues with it. Any major like, oh, this was real bullshit or this was real incoherent or whatever it is.
No,
I thought this was fine.
Yeah,
I thought most of this was fine. I had very few problems with it. I mean, you could go and be uncharitable and nitpick it, I suppose, and find some issues, but I didn't have any major problems with this. I thought this was great. It's a solid start, and we're excited for season 2.
All right, same here too. So for me, I will give this a light 4 to 5. While it's not perfect, it does start off really strong though. It's off to a good start, I should say. So I really can't wait to see what they do next with Black Lightning. I'm actually really excited.
It's not a borderline. It's not a borderline. Well, really, really good, strong season 1 of The Flash, for example, which I give a 9 out of 10, like a very high score. But it's very, very good.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're sticking with DC now. Now we're gonna get to Batman Ninja. Now,
right.
I have my thoughts on the show, right? So I just want you to just see what you have to say about it, and then I'll jump in, right? So we'll do that style again. So
all right. So Ninja. The thing with this show, I didn't hate it, but it was a mess, right? It was they made just baffling decision after baffling decision, and it was the perfect. Here's the thing: it was the perfect example of a mix of style over substance, rule of cool, and just simply not giving a fuck.
Yep.
That's basically what it was.
Yep.
And I okay, here's the thing: I personally, I would want to see a more grounded, dial-back version of this story. Basically like another period piece, like what Gotham like by Gaslight was, right?
Yeah.
But it was too much, and I get that it was littered with all of these Japanese references, like Super Sentai, or I don't know if you know what Funaishi is. You know what that is?
No.
Okay, so Funaishi is this thing where this little creature, this weird like puppet person, just be running and have a bunch of explosions blowing up. You ever see that? You see it on the internet?
Yeah.
It had a scene. It had a scene. Yeah, it had a scene like that where they was running the explosions looking exactly like that. I was like, wait, that is like straight up thing they just ripped from that. And I wanted a more grounded version of it. So I don't know if you know, in online, it have this really cool picture with Batman as a ninja, and it have Joker as a samurai, and both of them on like a burning roof. And
yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an old picture, and I thought that is what we was going to get, like a really grounded Japanese story involving the Batman. Like the Batman was straight up Japanese.
I was thinking
that's what I thought we was going to get, and we didn't get it. We just get this insane craziness about time travel and Gorilla Grodd and so on, so on. And yeah, this one kind of tough to rank because I can imagine a lot of people loving this, but I can see a lot of people really hating it. And I'll put myself in the camp of not caring for it, frankly. I really wanted a more grounded version. I wanted something. I don't know if you remember. Batman had an episode, old animated series episode called Night of the Ninja, where basically Batman had the old ninja clan that he trained with,
right,
came back to kill him. And
okay, I don't remember that episode, but now as you say that, I really want to rewatch the old Batman animated series.
All right, so look up two episodes that really were two kick-ass stories in the Batman animated series. The episode Night of the Ninja, and then an episode called Day of the Samurai. Two great episodes involving Bruce Wayne and his time in Japan. And that's what I thought we were going to get. I thought we were going to get something like that. But another thing too is I didn't like the voice acting and the dialogue. It was really cheesy. Boy. Here's the thing. I am a big Conroy Hamill combo fanboy, right? If you don't replicate that at least in tone, it'll totally trim him up. And yeah, they didn't come close to trying to replicate that, so I just wasn't feeling it. No. And I didn't really care for it.
That guy who did the voice, Roger Craig Smith, that man tried. He tried.
That's for Batman, right?
Yeah, for Batman.
Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work at all. But the guy who did Joker was trying, and I know I think it's Tony Hill.
That's the name, yeah.
Yeah, but it didn't work. Anyway, I like the animation art style. I like it. I get why some people might not like it, but I personally thought a lot of it was cool. It had a lot of great shots in this. It looked great in that sense. But the animation had this weird stilted, what's called by Batman. What's the name of the Telltale series? If you're familiar with the Telltale. Yeah, gosh, it's a video game series for Batman. It's actually pretty good stuff.
Right.
But it had that same look now, which I don't hate necessarily, but a lot of people didn't really feel. I thought a lot of the animation was cool. I thought the character designs were great. I thought a lot of those character designs were pretty good, especially with who Red Hood was, what they did with Red Hood, what they did with Joker, what they did with Penguin, what they did with Ivy, what they did with everybody. Catwoman looked great.
But what they did with Robin, though... But I'll talk about that.
Multiple Robins look okay too. I find I was liking what they did with all the Robins, especially that weird Japanese ninja look. But then they decided, but the story itself was total nonsense. Look, in the end of the day, if you're a serious Batman fan, you ain't gonna enjoy it. But look, when I watched it, I had a couple of glasses of wine, and I just had a blast with all the insanity. They had a ton of Power Rangers and Super Sentai references. There's just straight up rip off Naruto coming down to the end there.
I know, right?
When they had him doing Kawarimi and hand seals and all kind of bullshit.
Jesus,
it was really insane and over the top. And a lot of it didn't work personally, but I didn't hate it. So as a score, I'm gonna give this one. I'm gonna just give me a rating one time.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. Right? It's a 4 out of 10. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Right.
I could imagine with a good drunk viewing, like you just go with some friends and you have a good big drunk party and you enjoy yourself just cracking up at all the insane bullshit going on screen. Because it has some real insane bullshit going on screen. But it didn't work. I didn't like the story. I didn't care for it, and I really wanted them to do a grounded story and a more serious, somber Japanese story, and I didn't get that, and I was really disappointed.
All right, I'm gonna try not to ramble here. I'm gonna try to really express my thoughts on this movie here, right? So this movie feels like a cultural experiment, right? It feels like, what if this one country who never heard of Batman before probably saw a little piece of him in a show somewhere, or probably saw that one movie with Christian Bale and say, hey, you know what? What if we take that hero that we know little to nothing about and make a movie about it? This is what Batman Ninja felt like. Now,
it's a total lost in translation kind of situation.
That's the thing, lost in translation. Now here's the thing, there was actually a pretty decent film that came out, like I think it was around the same time that that Dark Knight came out, literally 10 years ago, called Gotham Knight, right? So Batman Gotham Knight.
Yeah, right? I remember that, right? Yeah, I thought that was solid.
I think it's like eight stories, 8 vignettes.
It was several Batman, stories,
right? But it's done by a respected
different
anime director,
animators.
right? So you had
Yeah.
that one guy, I always forget his name, Shinichiro Watanabe, who did the Cowboy
Yeah.
Bebop series. I think he did the last story. That's the one with Deadshot.
That's true.
Is it
Deadshot,
Deathstroke
right?
or Dead? I think it's Deadshot.
No, Deadshot.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was great there. So, like,
Right.
in that movie, you could tell that the people involved understood the nature of Batman. They understood the character. They don't need to go into detail and learn about everything about him, but they knew who he was, his mannerisms, his beliefs, how he moved, right? And it was solid. Like, I really enjoyed that film. And really need to watch it again, I just never did, right? Now, cut 10 years later, we have Batman Ninja, which, like I said, feels like somebody who just never read up any Batman comic or never watched a Batman movie or just probably heard through the grapevine, ooh, there's a cool character called Batman. He just looks like a bat. Ooh, what if we take it and do our spin on it? That's how it feels like. Like, I was literally watching this film, with the exception of this guy trying to sound like Batman and the costuming and whatnot. And of course, the Batmobile is there, and it had some cool moments. It really does not feel like Batman at all. It's almost like as if you could have taken any other character in the world. You could have taken Superman, whoever it is, and put it in this one film. It would not have mattered, right? Now, they had me at that premise, by Gorilla Grodd creating this time machine, and then all of a sudden it goes awry, and then everybody in Arkham Asylum just gets sucked back into medieval Japan because movie, right? No.
Right.
It was kind of interesting how the villains branch out and they take different factions of Japan. So Two-Face have his own thing, Penguin have his own thing, Poison Ivy and all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, they don't even give these side characters any time to really do anything. They kind of hinted them in this like really dumb expository scene, and then they're in the end where the big climatic battle is where you see them actually, do stuff now. But still, it's like, how are they able to adapt to Japanese society and all that kind of stuff? It just left me with questions. Even worse, the Robins themselves. Like, you telling me, as soon as Batman run into them, all of a sudden Nightwing knows so much and he knows about ninjas and all that kind of stuff. But
they appeared. Remember, Batman arrived late now, so
he arrived late.
Okay. They were living with them for a while.
Didn't explain it. I felt because I thought that everybody went at the same time, so it's like they kind of met up with each other within a few days now.
No. Batman came last because that's why our Joker and them built up all that shit. They were there. Remember, Catwoman said she was there for 2 years, and then all the others was there for a while now. We're not sure how long, but all of them have arrived for a while.
Okay.
So at least explain that, but it was. It started off okay, Like, it started off okay until they decided to do the giant robot bullshit.
Yeah. I'll talk about the giant robot bullshit, that's all right.
I thought that first encounter Batman had with Joker was kind of decent. That's when
I honestly felt so as well. Like, yes, it was over the top, but it was good over the top. It was, I don't want to say grounded over the top, but it was like that Afro samurai over the top that I expected. Whereas, like, one character going up against his maniacal character and shenanigans, not, we're gonna stop everything and have this big mecha showdown because it's Japan, right? We're talking about the characters themselves, right? So the character designs, yes, they look good. I like the Joker design, the Batman, the Penguin impressed me as well. The Catwoman and the Poison Ivy look good as well. Yes, they look rather curvaceous, but I don't mind. I mean, fuck it, whatever. But still, they look good. The one character design that I hated out of all of them was that Robin, the young Robin.
Oh, with the monkey.
And then he has a monkey companion.
Yeah, monkey.
Like,
God. Why
are we doing this? Yeah? Why are we doing this? Why? Oh, Monkey C, whatever his name is, or Monkey Chu, whatever his name is.
Like, yeah, they had to do that.
No, right? The voice acting, kinda hit or miss, right? The guy who tries to play Batman, he tries, right? Tony Hale, he just goes overboard as Joker. It's almost like he's trying to be the 60s Joker. And there's even moments where I felt like they were really pulling from the 60s Batman as opposed to, say, the 90s Batman that we grew up with, which I felt was a shame, because I felt they could have really drawn from that now. It came off like it was 90s at first, but then the more he talked and more maniacal and all the dumb jokes that he was dropping, all of which fell flat, by the way. I was feeling like this was the 60s Joker. But anyway, I And yes, Harley Quinn was there. She was just as annoying as normal, but not overbearing. But she's there, it's like whatever, right? But the dialogue though kind of caught more off guard, because there's like moments where I swear, like there would be like these like weird pauses in between lines, and then the character would talk now, and I'm not sure if it's like meant to be like like a Japanese. It's like a Japanese trope now, but it had moments where characters would just kind of stand up, and then when you're expecting them to talk, they will wait like about 5 seconds, and then they will talk now.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed about it. It had some bad lip syncing. That's a bad lip syncing.
And that's a bad lip syncing. Yeah, as well. Yeah. You are right. But it's almost like the creators themselves, right, who are Japanese, right? It's almost like they don't watch American films and realize how the dialogue works in American films now. So in American films, you don't have like this weird 5-second pause before a character starts a conversation. Like when the scene starts up, the character talks. Right, you have your established shot, and then the character talks, and then like you have to zoom in on the character and see him stand up, and then they talk. Like that was just weird to me, right? The lip syncing was rough, especially in the first like 20 minutes of it when you're seeing Batman. Later on, it started to work a bit, but then it just kind of went off again. And I don't know, like for me, it just really did feel like I was just watching an anime, like a real anime now. But
the out anime, the out anime, all the other animes.
Yeah, but even in a normal anime, they kind of get the lip syncing to work though. But then now we have to get to the animation style. This style that they use, I don't want to call it cell shading, but I forgot the style of it, right? Especially with the mouths and how they move was, you could really tell that they had a problem with the syncing of the lips now. The animation for the most part kind of works. Like I felt like the set designer, the way how the sets look, the way how the backgrounds look were pretty cool. There was one moment that just caught me completely by surprise, where the animation style just changes, and I just tuned out at that moment. I was like, "What is this, Dred?"
They had this section that didn't make any sense, where Harley and Joker they went sane, and then they create some flowers to go insane, and Red Hood was beating up on them. Like, what? Why did they decide? Like, you get the feeling that they had like a whole section to fill. They run out of money, and they had to take that to decide to do this weird animation style for no reason. That reason,
would have worked too, because it's very abstract, but it just contrasts so much with what you've been seeing before now, and it literally happens like before the end of the third act now. So
right.
During this
and
film,
it was they had to come up with a bullshit reason why Joker and them disappear and then reappear.
Yeah.
But it's like, why did they just have them just escape and just do a quick scene with them escaping in the water or something? You had to do all that bullshit involving Red Hood. That'd make no sense.
Yeah. And
that'd make any fucking sense.
Why switch the style for? And then, well, with Red Hood, there was really no purpose for Red Hood. Or at least what they did with him, I didn't like what they did with him at all. I kind of like the style of his character design. I thought it was pretty cool with that kind of that headpiece that I see in countless samurai flicks. I don't know what the name of that headpiece is.
I thought that was a smart call, but again, what you're right about the point about like certain Japanese aesthetics that they would have get. Like they went too far in being too Japanese.
That's the thing, yeah.
They're not Japanese people.
So how the Red Hood looked in the normal animation, he looked that looked great though. But in the kind of abstract, weird, artsy animation style that they did there, it just didn't work for me. It like that scene would have worked. Like if it was like a flashback, I'd have get that. But you're telling me no, this is in real time though, or present time.
Right?
It no sense. But yeah, you were saying?
No, I because I'm a big fan of like any kind of art or animation festival type art style where it's always this borderline experimental, it's kind of cheap, it kind of fluid. I love stuff like that. Like I'm a big sucker for stuff like that. That's why I was enjoying a lot of this, because it wasn't like I wasn't a big like stickler for what the narrative needed to be, given how experimental everything was trying to be. So I was like, cool. And again, the 2-3 glasses of wine kind of helped, right? So I didn't think it was a big problem for me, but yeah, it was really jarring what they did there.
Yeah. Few more things before I get to Marita, right? That Gorilla Girl design, by God damn.
You hate it?
That looked terrible.
Yeah, it was kind of bad. Yeah.
What was that? there are some shots where Gorilla Grodd is walking, Dread, and like
Yeah.
his I don't want to say fur, sorry, but the hair on his skin, Dread, feels
You're
so
looking awful.
plastic. It's
Yeah.
like he's just covered in plastic, Dread, and it
Yeah.
looks horrible, horrible. His purpose in the movie made no sense to me. The only one
Yeah.
thing that I liked was when he was in the hot springs and
Playing the flute, yeah.
playing the flute. That was nice. That was cool. Everything
Yeah,
about him other than that was just horrible.
The mistake, as I said, what they should have done, like what they did with Gotham by Gaslight, have it be a Japanese Bruce Wayne, essentially, changing names, have all the characters be Japanese. That's what they could have done, and then make a genuine Japanese, like 17th century, 16th century Japan. Tokugawa era, maybe that is what later 19th century Japan.
Yeah.
Do something like that. Edo period or
That's
whatever.
the thing. I kind of went in hoping
Expecting
that. That no.
Yeah, and have it be a more somber feel to everything.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I didn't expect in the first minute you suddenly go back into time and I like.
Yeah, they don't need to do all that shit.
Just out of the blue, it just happens now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just do a period piece.
Yeah, a couple more things, right? Music didn't stand out to me at all. Well, I guess
Yeah.
there were a couple of moments where I was like, all right, I'm really feeling the music here, but it just didn't work for me. I felt like there were moments where I felt like it needed music. Like there were these conversational scenes where there was no music at all. I was like, all right, this really not working at all. Slap on some non-diegetic music, something. Liven up the scene a little bit now. Because when you're talking, it just feels dry. It just feels empty. Like there's nothing going on, right? But the last thing though, and this is the thing that really, really took me out of the show a lot, was just the abundance of all these Japanese anime cliches. It's just one after the next, and they don't really serve any purpose apart from, oh, we're in Japan. Wow, we can do this stuff. I could have seen that red flag come in when I saw the Warner Brothers logo instead of the Warner Animation logo. Because when I saw the Warner Brothers, I was like, oh, well, this is clearly from the same people who brought us the Rurouni Kenshin trilogy, which I enjoyed, but you hate for some reason. But I got burnt with that Full Metal Alchemist movie. They burned me with that one. And sorry to say, they burned me again with this one. Now, I saw the trailer for this a while back, and I was expecting this thing to be like Batman meets Afro Samurai. But
that's what I was expecting.
It was just Batman in Japan, and we're just going to throw all these cliches, and not just the cliches that otakus love, the guilty pleasure stuff, like the hand gesture stuff from Naruto, or the Super Sentai stuff, right? But just the stuff that people who don't like anime at all hate, like those same things. Those same cliches are there, you know what I mean? So yes, if you are a fan of anime, you are going to hate this, because all the stuff that you hate about anime in this movie, even right down to, well, you are part of the Bat Clan, and now I must live I must achieve my destiny to become the leader of the Bat Clan.
I'll tell you when I know I was in for some bullshit, I'll tell you when I know I was in for some bullshit, when they had Bruce pretended to be a monk, but he had like a bat symbol on top of his head.
I like, see how long it took for him to pick up on where Alfred was. Like Alfred was literally there pouring sake for him.
Yeah.
But look how long it took him to look up and be like, oh crap, it's you, Alfred. Like,
it's stupid.
Like, why?
No, it really this really. Yeah, and all of them, it really didn't work or make sense. None of it made sense. It was just an incoherent mess. But yeah, because it did a lot right, I enjoy a lot of it. In terms of just the aesthetics and the looks and whatnot. So again, if you're looking for a good streamer conscious nonsense movie, I recommend it. But it just, if you're looking for something serious, especially if you're a quote unquote serious Batman fan, I really don't recommend it at all. Anyway, get it rated.
Right. So last things last, I'll say. Now, I don't want to go out of my way to say that these creators spit in the face of the Batman legend, but oftentimes I kind of felt like they were, but it really just felt like they just didn't know anything about the Batman character at all, or they just threw away everything and just said, here's what we're just gonna do, we own thing. This is Japan, we're gonna make it Japanese, like really Japanese now. but it's just Japanese in the most cliche way imaginable, unfortunately, Dread. So while I didn't hate the film as all that, I was like genuinely disappointed by this. Whether you are a fan of anime or not, this movie is going to test you. This movie will challenge you, Dread. This will challenge your your suspension of disbelief, Dread, especially when it comes to like a Batman movie, Dread. So for me, I will give this a strong two to like 2.5 out of 5, Dread.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, this thing did not work at all, boy. Like I don't know how shit faced you have to be to really like this film, but I
Right.
guess if you just want to see something different and it could forgive all the cliches that they stuff into this movie, then I guess you'll enjoy it. But there's just so much moments that just fall painfully flat from the from the thematic to just the cultural aspects of it. There's just so much things that just fall flat. Especially even the end credit scene fell completely flat. I was like, what is this shit?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
this is supposed to
All
be
right, that's
funny.
when they showing the like what happened after with them getting
Yeah,
arrested or whatever it is. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that was whatever.
Painfully awful, Dread. So
Yeah.
watch this if you really want to see this. Watch this at your own risk, right? That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. All right.
All right.
So now we are going to get to a comedy, right? Called Blockers. Not too much to really
I didn't see
say.
this.
Okay, you well unfortunately didn't get around to see it. So not really much to say about Blockers, right? So I saw the trailer for this a while back, and at the time I was under the impression that this movie was going to be called Cock Blockers because you had the logo of the cock right above the word blockers now. So I was like, okay, this is going to be some kind of over the top, kind of raunchy sex comedy, but like real crass and vulgar now. And then I saw John Cena in it. He was like that. He was like the one reason why I was curious about this movie now. And I was just hearing a lot of great things about the movie when it came out, right? 'Cause I thought that people would just shit over this movie, not really care about it, but the reception for this was like really positive. I was surprised. I was like, all right, let me see this movie. Let me see this comedy now. You know what I mean? And normally I don't go cinema to see comedies. Well, I only like pick out the best comedies out there, right? And I was genuinely surprised by Game Night, which I reviewed a while back. So I was like, all right, well, Blockers should be as decent as that. So I went in, and pretty much the premise is like this, right? So we have these three teenage girls, and they are going to their prom night, and through some circumstances they realize, well, they actually make a pact that they all three of them are gonna lose their virginity on prom night, right?
Right.
So the parents of the three girls. So we have John Cena, who is actually married to an Indian woman. Well, I should say an East Asian woman, basically. I don't wanna. I'm not sure if she's pure Indian or whatever it is, right? But her daughter is mixed, basically, right? Sorry, his daughter is mixed, right? So
Right.
there's John Cena and his wife. We have Leslie Mann, who is a single mom, and she is raising her daughter on her own. And then we have Ike Barinholtz.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
basically is a divorcee now, so he kind of steps in. Well, his ex-wife pretty much hooked up with Hannibal Buress of all people, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't expect to see him in this movie, right? So both of them are raising their daughter. Well, this girl here, and it's not well, okay. So slight spoiler. She's gay, so this night is kind of special for her in a way, right? Because the thing is, she does have a boyfriend. Well, sorry, not a boyfriend, but just a date to go. But she kind of doesn't really like him that much. But there's this one girl that she sees in school that she kind of falls for. But it's just that question of, should I tell my friends that I'm gay? Will they still love me, or will they respect me, or will they just push me aside? So that's a nice little subplot that they have there. But I'll talk about that subplot later on, right? So yes, so we have these three girls heading out to the prom, and through some circumstances that I won't reveal, John Cena, Leslie Mann, and Ike, they find out that yes, their daughters are going to get their cherries pop basically at prom night. Like, no, 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 we can't have that. So we have to do everything that we can to stop our daughters from doing that. We don't want them to throw their lives away just because they have to be cool and they have to be down. You know what I mean? They're too young for this stuff, right? And shenanigans ensue, and we have our film, right? So surprisingly enough, this was a rather well thought out. This is a rather mature film, but not mature in the sense that we have to stuff as much sex jokes and crude humor in it. It has a lot of
Right.
heart. It has a lot of characterization in there that I was really surprised by. For one thing, the girls who play the teenage girls, their chemistry is on point. Some of the best chemistry I've seen in a comedy show in quite some time. The Indian girl in particular, right, who are John Cena's daughter in the film, she was like the standout character. Well, she was like the standout girl for me. I thought that she just had such great comedic timing. Every joke
Yeah.
that she just did, just landed perfectly. And I just see her in other films in the future. She has a bright future just right off the bat. And I'll say the same for the other two. The other girl that really impressed me was the girl who not really seeing the names here, but the one who plays the gay one out of the trio. I thought that she was great as well. I mean, she was cute, for one thing.
Yeah.
And I love her character as well. I love how she was just really she was fronting, real trying to play like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get some dick and all that kind of stuff there. But at the same time, she has eyes for this one girl, and just the fact that the story itself decided to make her gay. I thought that was like a nice touch. I'm glad that they did not spend too much time, debating the whole aspect of it, why
Right.
and all that kind of stuff. But one thing though, I wish, but then again, it kind of adds something to the awkwardness of the parents in the film, because yes, the parents do come off way awkward than they should. I felt that it could have been like in terms of who's taking care of that particular character, it should have been a woman. The mere fact that Ike comes in, and it's kind of established that he just did a lot of shit in his life, and he wasn't there for his daughter, so he just kind of comes in out of the blue because he figures it's prom night, it's the most magical night of your life, so yeah, showing up out of the blue to kind of play like, oh yes, I still love my daughter and all that kind of stuff. But it does add a lot to the character here. But I felt in terms of what's going on in terms of her own sexuality, the daughter's sexuality, um, it would have been a lot better if it was a woman who was like, trying to help her out there, basically. Like, if it was just the mother trying to help out. Like, basically, the mother and Hannibal Buress are introduced in one scene, and then you don't see them again for the rest of the movie. And I felt that was like, that's one gripe that I had with the show. I felt I could have see those two characters more. But as soon as the absentee father comes in, it's just all about the father and the daughter, right? And yes, it makes for some great moments, but I felt in terms of just the whole handling of her sexuality, it would have been better if it was a woman, if it was from a woman's perspective, and not from a guy
Right.
just wishing for nothing but the best for my daughter. It's a little cliche.
Right. You gotta do it right.
Yeah.
Right.
John Cena. I was a little worried because I've seen him in a couple of action flicks under the WWE moniker.
Right.
Sorry, WWE brand. The first being the Marine, second one being 12 rounds, both of which I didn't really care for at all. But yeah, boy, Cena have a bright future in comedy. I'll say that right off the bat. He's like the next Channing Tatum, that big tough guy, that big, strong, beefy looking guy who plays these kind of awkward characters now. And in this case here, Cena is playing the world's greatest dad. He wants to be there for his daughter. He wants to be the best dad he could ever be. But then when he hears about this whole thing about her wanting to lose her virginity, it's just like him trying to be responsible, trying to do what he can to not try to prevent his daughter from going to that partner. But it's just like you could tell like he's not used to this kind of stuff. Like he's just learning things as you go along there. So seeing him try to navigate through something so difficult and awkward, right? Just made for some genuine laughs. And yeah, there was some great moments with him. Some moments were like really crass as well, but then again, it's R-rated, teen sex comedy, so you could let it slide. So you have those cringeworthy moments, those OMFG moments that you would expect in a show like that. You see it in stuff like The 40th Virgin, you see it in Superbad, you see it in American Pie, those really over the top moments there.
Yeah.
And yeah, Cena is in a majority of those scenes though. And yeah, he commits though. Some scenes were like, I wouldn't say painful to watch, but it was like, okay, I didn't need to see her ass, I really did not need to see that. But Man went in, the man committed the role, and I thought that he did a great job, man. So I just hope that he has a great future. I just hope that he has a great future in terms of doing comedies. I think he has found his niche, just being that beefy comedic character, right? Um, Ike Barinholtz, right? Not really a big fan of him as an actor. And yes, he was in Suicide Squad, so haha, right? But yeah, I thought that he was pretty funny as well, because one thing, because he's the absentee dad, you expected him to be like this real asshole and all that. And when he's introduced, he does come off like that, but he really comes off as the most self-aware out of everyone, right? Like for Leslie Mann's character, for example, she her shtick is that she just doesn't understand certain things. So like there's this one nice little gag which doesn't run for too long, but it's a nice gag where they're just reading the emojis off of the daughter's phone there. And she's like, I don't understand. What does eggplants mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? So she's so tuned out of the, just out of the millennial lifestyle, basically. So just hearing the fact that her daughter wants to do this is like a huge shock now. But there's also an emotional quarter as well, because, she is a single mother, and she does not want, basically she wants her daughter to be by her side, but she just does not want to see her leave, because eventually after prom, what that means, college, and then eventually she's not going to see her daughter again. So it really adds for some genuinely heartfelt moments in the film, right? And yes, Leslie Mann gets that goofy and silly as well, right? But yeah, I thought that his character was pretty good as well. He is the straight man, basically. So while John and Leslie trying to be all playing goofy because they're not hip to what's going on, Ike is clearly the most self-aware. He knows what's going on. He understands emojis, and he knows how youngsters move, right? So he's not surprised by what's going on. But still, once again, because of his daughter, and he knows what's going on with his daughter as well, he just doesn't want her to make that serious mistake. Going into peer pressure and losing her virginity to a man, when ultimately it will not work out just because of the fact that she's a lesbian, right? But still, once again, like I say, it really would have felt a lot better if it was a woman, really being there for the daughter. But just as a guy, this made it even more awkward, because, as a guy, it's like, how do I talk to you about stuff that I don't really get because I'm a guy?
That's not supposed part of the joke, so.
Yeah, but you're right, it is part of the joke, though. There's a lot of great jokes here. I wouldn't say all of them really work. There's a few that had me chocolate, but there were lots that genuinely had me laughing. Not like laughing and had me in stitches, but genuine laughter, though. There were some great moments here. It does have a super bad feel to it, where it's like this one day that just keeps going and going and going, and then it's just one night where, things go from bad to worse. It's just we go from here to there, and just all these shenanigans there. So it has that kind of feel to it. But I really do appreciate the heart and emotion that's in the film. It's not overbearing, but it really does add a lot to these characters and what they're going through. A majority of these characters don't come off one-dimensional. They do come off fully fleshed out as well, especially both the parents and the teens as well. Now, one gripe that some people will have is that the movie kind of feels like it's split in two. Like, for one thing, it could have just been about the teenagers themselves, right? But I do like the fact that you do see both the teenagers and the parents, and I felt that the film gave equal enough time for the two groups now, to get in whatever situation that they're in and get out of it, basically. So I love the bravery in terms of kind of splitting the film down the middle, but not too much that it feels like it's two separate films, right? But really that you understand both from the parents' perspectives and the kids themselves. I also like the fact that the parents weren't the uber villains who don't understand what the kids are up to. They just want to stamp down on everything that kids are about, man. We're not getting the adult villains like, from them 80s or 90s, comedies of a similar nature. These parents, while they do come off awkward, they are genuine. You do feel for these characters as well. You laugh at them when they do, dumb shit, but still at the same time you do understand where they're coming from. At times it may come off a little like, well, you're being a little insensitive. You don't understand what they're going through. But I'd imagine if you were a parent, you would probably be thinking the same thing too, right? I'm not going to say that you're going to go out of your way to stop your child from doing that, like from losing his or her virginity in the way how these parents do in the film. But I'd imagine you would be having these feelings of doubt and fear and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I really like, how genuine it all feels. Writing wise, I thought it was great. The directing was decent as well. From well, it is from writer Kay Cannon. This is a first time directing. I thought for the most part she did a great job as well. There are few editing moments that felt a little choppy. Like characters would be in one situation and telling yourself, okay, how they gonna get out of it, or how they gonna lead into the next scene, and then just suddenly cuts to the next scene, and it kind of just left me a little bit like, okay, how they get out of this house or how they get out of the situation just like that. Like I know they have to get the ball rolling, they have to maintain this sort of quick pace, but still there were some choppy editing moments here. I felt they could have really worked on that a lot better. I'm not saying, I don't know, maybe there's an unrated cut that's coming out that maybe for home media, maybe those those scenes were taken out. You know, I don't know, but I just still felt that the editing could have been a little bit tighter. But other than that, though, yeah, this was a pretty solid film for me. While it wasn't the gut-busting, humorous film that I expected it to be, I did enjoy it for the most part. And I was really surprised by the care that was taken into really fleshing out the characters in this film, both the parents and the teens themselves. And finally, I like that they did not go. I mean, yes, there are some crass, gross, vulgar humor in it, but it's not too much. It doesn't go too overboard. But you can expect that in films of this nature. Like I said, if you've seen films like, you know, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, American Pie, and Superbad, then you would expect humor.
Yeah, the R-rated comedy, yeah.
Yeah, it's very R-rated as well, but not too much that it's, you know, exploitative. So yeah, for the most part, I would give this a strong 3.5 out of 5, man. This is definitely worth checking out. If you want to see it on the big screen, go right ahead. Go see it at a packed cinema. You know, well, the cinema that I went to, people were cracking up as well. But if you want to wait till it comes out of home media, go right ahead. I'm expecting like an unrated cut to come out for this. You know, with teen sex comedies, you can expect that. American Pie did it. 40-Year-Old Virgin did it. Superbad did it as well. So I can expect that blockers will do the same thing. And who knows, maybe they'll add that, you know, that cock blockers, the, you know, title to the film itself. Last things last, I'm really glad that they opted to take out that word cock from it, because having that would have really been in poor taste, because people would have gone in would have gone in expecting some real crass vulgar film, like say a Euro Trip or Road Trip, both of which I really enjoy, especially Euro Trip. That's my shit, right? But still, those movies, you just turn your brain off. There's not really much in terms of characterization. It's just insanity and wild humor after the next, right? But with this one here, because it has such likable characters, such fully fleshed out characters, you do care for everyone that's involved in this movie, and I really felt that added a lot to this movie, right? So yeah, if you like your little teen sex comedies with a touch of heart in it, yeah, by all means check out Blockers.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. So last but not least, Rampage, boy. Not to be confused with the member of the Flipmo Squad Rampage, aka the Last Boy Scout. We talk about Rampage, which is the long-awaited film adaptation of the classic video game Rampage of the same name, which I'll confess right now, I have never played. I have never played this game. So just to put it as shortly as I can, much like Pacific Rim Uprising, it was trash. Trash, but it's my kind of trash. I had fun with this. I thought it was just straightforward. Like what you had to, basically they did exactly what they needed to do when they come to making a Rampage movie. Yeah.
But I basically would change a couple things. I find the narrative was a little off, even for what it was trying to be, and it still worked for what it was trying to do. And I didn't really have a big issue with it. I was like, I had fun with this.
Speaking of narrative, you just want to fill us in on what the narrative is about. What is Rampage about?
Right, so it's just a bunch of BS science. It's involving CRISPR, apparently, the use of CRISPR. And the CRISPR has been this actual genetic editing tool that came about 5 or 6 years ago. And a lot of scientists.
I thought that was imagined for the film.
No. They just bullshit it for the movie. But it's a real thing that is when it comes to fixing genetic problems in people and children, and a couple, normal genetic
defects or something. So like genetic defects.
Yeah, all kind of defects and editing. Little problems with, like, if you like Down syndrome or something like that, you could fix in the womb for people now. Hopefully that'll be the technology. But you could be using it in real. It's a real thing. However, the movie is bullshit. What they do? So they start off with this. I think this astronaut, she had to escape with this she was an astronaut, and then apparently some monster rat was coming after her in a space station, so she escaped. And what happens at her space capsule when she was escaping blow up, and the capsule she escaped with all of the, I forget what the actual gas was called, but basically it's Rampage gas.
Right.
The Rampage gas. I think that was the name of the company, I think.
On the subject of that, right? Was it just me?
It was a Project Rampage, sorry. It was a project.
On the subject of that, right? Was it just me or the intro to Rampage feel like the last 5 to 10 minutes of Gravity?
No, I was thinking the 5 to 10 minutes of this movie. Where's the name of the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal in space?
Oh, Life.
With the alien.
Okay, haven't seen Life yet.
I was thinking of that.
I know, shame on me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really feeling like Gravity Chat from the whole escape pod kind of stuff. I was like,
right. Anyway,
with a mixture of alien, right? But continue.
Right, a little bit. Yeah, she popped blow up, she dead, but all the 3 canister gas fly across the planet, and it was three animals that get exposed to them. But so what ended up happening is that one of the Rock character, I forget his name, he's basically zookeeper. He has a friend called George, and George is this white gorilla, very big white gorilla, but not that big. And then for some reason George gets exposed to the gas. He wake up next morning huge, wondering why he's so damn big, and the military get involved, and Deegan from The Walking Dead get involved, and then McGill, Moneypenny get involved, and that's it. Then actions.
But you also forgot. We have a genetically altered wolf and a croc.
No, I didn't forget that. I just said it have other animals that come in, and the military get, and action ensues with other animals and whatnot coming on to the end.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the story. So basically they decide everything just culminates in the city with the wolf and the monkey, and then they find out they have a crocodile as well. They're supposed to run away from the crocodile, but that didn't happen. And what happens is that the bad guys who's running the corporation had to find back the data, and they put on a signal just to get all the animals in one space. This was downtown, Chicago, I think?
Yes, in Chicago, yeah.
Right, and that's it. That's basically the big action set piece at the end.
Right.
And I had fun with the monkey movie.
Yes.
It was kind of mindless, but I enjoyed it.
Why is it that we've been getting monkey movies? So like last year we had Kong Skull Island, and now we have this. So it's like the return of the monkey movie. Anyway, right? So I will share my thoughts on the film. So I have not seen the last two collaborations with Dwayne Johnson and Brad Payton, which were Journey to the Mysterious Island and San Andreas. I avoided both of those movies. I thought both of those movies were like dumpster juice, so I never watched those. But I've heard that they are within the same vein, and that is these kind of cheesy, big budget B movies, basically, right?
What Tower coming out?
Yeah. Oh yes. All right. They're working on Skyscraper together.
I don't know if it's them, but it's looking like the same bullshit.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at his wiki page. No. But Skyscraper is with another director, right?
Right.
So yes, that looks equally cheesy, right? But anyway, so yes, this is a big budget B movie in every sense of the word. From the premise alone, which deviates from the game itself. But here's the thing, right?
Right.
Because I've never played the game itself, I wasn't like nitpicking and saying, because initially in the game it's about these humans that go through these genetic experiments and they turn into monsters, right? Yeah.
Right. That's why I thought that they was gonna do it. This like eventually somebody human was gonna become a monkey and they're gonna have to fight them or something like that. But we didn't get it.
Yeah, we didn't get that. But
just kill the crocodile.
Yeah, but for me that didn't take me out of the film at all. I wasn't complaining about you changed it up. I didn't complain about that at all. Now I guess if they kept the original premise, it probably would have been better. But I think it would have been just equally, if not more, cheesy and dumb as this movie was, right? So. It is what it is. I can't say that this was a better choice in terms of narrative, but it is what it is, right? So the good. Dwayne Johnson. The man has charm, he has charisma.
Yeah.
He can just do that so easy. You just like this guy. You like him. You like when he cracks a little steel joke here and there. But also like the fact that he was so
he was sympathetic.
But he was sympathetic towards George there. You know, he always had that concern for him, you know, and just seeing that on screen was really nice as well. The George himself, you know, yes, I know it's mocap and everything, but I thought that as it was a creature,
they got that right. Yeah.
They got that right. The mannerisms of the ape, you really felt that he was real. until he got bigger and he's like, all right, yeah, you know it's CG, right? But I thought that the other two creatures as well. I thought that the creature design were great though. Especially the croc though. That croc was like some real impressive stuff though. I will not lie. Um, I thought that the side characters when they were there, I mean, they did what
Naomi
they were
Harris,
supposed to do, like Naomi Harris. Even though I felt that they didn't give her much to do, just saying.
right,
She was just like, well, I know what to expect. This is gonna happen. I know, because I'm smart, right? And they do give her a little backstory where you end up caring about her character a little bit more. But I felt that they could have given her much more to do. But I thought that she was okay. Jeffrey Dean Morgan apparently is still in Negan mode right now. Like he just don't want to switch.
He's leading. Yeah, lead.
So like,
Just leading down the
so like season 8 wrapped up already, and like the man just still focused on what he gonna do in season 9. So like they say, here's what: don't tune out of Negan yet. Just do Negan, but do it in a more kind of like cowboy Texan kind of vibe, right? So yeah, literally when you see this man and you hear him talk, is like straight up Negan again, and I was just laughing at that boy, but because he just was having fun with the role, and yes, it's a really cheesy role as well, I didn't mind at all. The people that I did mind, however, were the villains.
Right.
Oh boy, Malin
Terrible.
Ackerman, right? Who I liked in Watchmen. I thought that she was excellent in that film.
No, she have a good look. She have a good look, but jeez, boy, she was a mess in this dress.
Jeez, boy.
Terrible.
And the guy who plays her brother, Jake Lacey. It's like this like literally they are the live action version of Team Rocket. They are the Boris and Natasha in the film. They're the mwahaha. We'll use this tower and we'll emit the signal and we'll bring the creatures to us and we'll take the samples from them. Mwahaha. And whatever if they destroy property and kill people, whatever, we'll have the samples to ourselves. Mwahaha. I was like, no. Even the idea of them using the signal to draw the creatures in was dumb. That was dumb, right? But however though, props for the weirdest kind of Easter egg in the film, where in their office, in this big building, this in this big, basically this, alright, let's say I got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In this big corporation making a lot of money, they have a Rampage arcade game.
Right, okay, yeah. But I saw that.
But I didn't even stop to ask why they have that.
I didn't care. Yeah, I didn't care.
Why? I don't know. I just didn't bother, right? I was like, okay, that's what he said. Alright, fine, whatever, cool, move it along, right? But yeah, those villains were just so one note and so one dimensional, but they just really took me out of the film a lot. The way how they are killed off though got points. That was some cheesy stuff, but I was laughing though. It was
this was surprisingly violent for what it was. So I was like, there was a lot of violence, like especially like the end, like they get a lot of stabbing, a lot of wounds and things like that. It was surprisingly violent.
Another character that I felt was out of place here was Joe Manganiello. Sorry if I got the name wrong. I just know him as the werewolf dude from True Blood.
Right, he played. Yeah, in Deathstroke, he's Deathstroke now in the DCEU.
Yes.
In the movies, which I don't care about.
Because the way how they set up his character, I like at first, right? I swear this was Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character being introduced. I realized, but wait, no, this is not him, and is this other guy now? And then they just literally just threw him into this situation, and then boom, he just goes, right? Not gonna spoil what happens here, but he just felt like a throwaway character because they just literally threw away this character. They threw him away. They had nothing to do with him. Why they couldn't have him assist our heroes is beyond me, but whatever. That was a letdown. Also, I felt that yes, the last 15-20 minutes of this movie is amazing. I was on the edge of my seat.
I thought a lot of action was really solid.
This was amazing. This is what I spent my money for. This is worth your money. The last 15-20 minutes alone. It is every bit as badass and as silly and as dumb as it is, but I just had a blast though. Just seeing them not just fight each other but also do damage in Chicago. But don't worry, the people
much
evacuate,
like Pacific Rim.
Evacuate,
much like Pacific Rim, they did not give a fuck.
Exactly. Just like Pacific Rim Uprising. But the road to get there, boy, I will not lie, was kind of sluggish, kind of
Yeah,
slow.
yeah. Me too.
But the thing that really held my interest was just the characters themselves, especially Dwayne Johnson and George, because you like them so much. Those were the two characters that kept me going. But there were moments where I was like kind of tuning out and kind of looking at my watch and asking myself, okay, when do we get to the good shit? When are we gonna get to the
Yeah,
action? Right? They do have some cool action bits here there, but still, really what we wanted to see was in the last 15 to 20 minutes, and I felt that they could have just punched that up a lot more, just punched up the story itself. And this is what's going to turn off a lot of people because, yes, it's a video game movie, and as far as narratives go, you're not really supposed to expect much out of them. But while I praise the fact that they tried to add a lot of story into this, it was a little too much at times, and it felt like okay, but at the end of the day, it's about a giant albino ape that fights a giant croc and a giant wolf.
yeah,
Why
yeah.
do we need all this backstory? Why do we need all this big emotional moments? Why do we need
Well,
these cliche
okay, so
military
I didn't mind the
moments and all
emotion.
that kind of stuff?
Right, I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind a lot of that. Again, the cliche military stuff I just kind of ignored. But yeah, the
Yeah,
stuff with Rock and, and George was good. I thought that
yeah,
was fine.
it
I don't
was
have
good.
any
It
issues.
was good. But
Everything else was
yeah,
whatever.
and
I
and
don't really care
and
about it.
and the funny thing about it though is that, like in my head, I was telling myself, all right, okay, I appreciate that all they're trying to take this thing serious, or they want to add more to this premise, but once again, it's like, all right, but is this like uh a losing battle anyway? Like you all. Like in other words, I was asking myself if they were just really wasting their time trying to build so much story, leading up to that last 20 minutes of the film. Like, was it all
Right.
worth it in the end? And for some people, they might be like, well, nah, not really. But some people, I would expect would actually like that they give a lot of backstory and just a lot of story to this movie, to this really simple, dumb premise. But for me, it was just like, all right, it's a little too much, I guess. Maybe you just could have just embraced the B movie aspect of it, but still, I appreciate the effort. That's all I have to say. But yeah, as far as the action goes, like I said, the last 15-20 minutes are just some of the most amazing stuff I've seen on screen, just in terms of dumb popcorn entertainment. I enjoyed that way more than the Pacific Rim Uprising, the climactic fight there, basically
Yeah,
because it did not rely on Japanese cliches and just dumb monster stuff. That it just try to make it grounded, try to really give like a realistic take of what would happen if these weird creatures were to do damage instead of just turn it into this big Saturday morning cartoon. And speaking of cartoon, before I get to rating, boy, Dwayne Johnson, boy.
yeah. I'm
Yes, we like the
you know,
man. Yes, we like the man. You have
no,
charm and
you had
everything. You have
pause.
on-screen persona and everything. But that man is a superhero in this way. This man
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
is ridiculous, right?
That's one thing I was confused by. I was like, wait, he could do all of this and he still survive. I thought he get infected with the thing now. So
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna get powers now, but they didn't do that.
this
It's
this
just him.
man this man
Just him having
survives
powers. Yeah.
one life-threatening thing after the next, one dangerous set piece after the next, and that man still walking, he's still talking, he's still cracking the jokes, he's still coming up with decisions. And by the way, them decisions, boy, a lot of last-minute decisions in this movie that somehow work.
Yeah.
Like nearly every last-minute
Again,
decision they come up
again,
with
I don't.
work. Like what? What?
Yeah, yeah. I don't really give a shit about most of that. So it's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but Dre, they could have dialed down on the super powered skill set of the
Yeah,
Rock Dread. There, like I said,
yeah,
there are moments where you swear this man, like a real human being, would die in a situation like this. Nope, Rock come out with some bruises, but like whatever, it's
you
fine,
know.
right?
Yeah.
Weird.
Why
But
does why
anyway,
does walk off a gunshot to the stomach?
a gunshot to his stomach and he walk it off
Yeah,
like
that
what?
was that was say that I really thought that's the one thing I thought they could have
I'm
done
like,
this again. In a sense, in many ways, it's a pitch perfect movie, but they should have like do a little bit of better like narrative with that, in my opinion. But whatever, I don't
yeah,
really
like
care.
I'm not saying give the man powers, Dread, but don't make him like make the set pieces over the top and wild, right? But make our characters real and human so you'll care. If a man
Yeah,
gets shot in the gut and he survives and he's walking, How you expect me to care, right? Even if it is Dwayne Johnson, right? But all that aside, though, I'd admit I got my money's worth with this one. It was every bit the dumb B movie that I expected to be, but I can't admit I had fun with this. I had fun, especially with them last 50 or 20 minutes, which, like I was saying, is definitely worth that admission price to see this. While I felt that they really tried way too hard to flesh out the story and make it all, make us really care, when at the end of the day is just giant creatures fighting in Chicago, because the movie, I wouldn't say I hated the film. I really did enjoy it for what it was. If some people do end up hating it, I guess it's because they expect it to be like the video game, but then again, the video game was just about creatures destroying buildings, so I mean, we expect, but still, and I'll just say this in closing before we get to ratings. The weird thing is that I can't really go out of my way to say that this is the best video game movie adaptation I've ever seen, because I never played the game. So I really could not approach this film as, hey, this is a video game movie. But I guess as far as video game movies go, this is one of the most entertaining I've seen. It belongs with Mortal Kombat in terms of that cheesy B movie.
I won't put it as high as Mortal Kombat 1, but yeah, it's about there. It does what it needs to do in terms of like the world building of this, what it feels like. But because again, I am relatively ignorant of the game as well. I barely remember the game in arcades for myself, and I was like, so I kind of know the story a little bit. I did a little bit of reading up of, oh, this is what Rampage about. Okay, no problem. And that's about it. But I barely remember what it was like, what it felt like. So I don't really care in that sense.
Yeah. And what I'll just say this before we get to rating is that sorry, you can't go into a movie with a giant ape fighting these creatures in a city and expect Oscar worthiness, right? You're gonna get what you expect, right? For better or for worse. It just depends on your tolerance level of it, right? But yeah, for me, for the most part, I kind of enjoy this, Would say it's the best show I've seen for the year, but I did enjoy this way more than Pacific Rim Uprising, and that's saying a lot.
Oh, really?
Just because of the low expectations that they already had. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I enjoyed Uprising a little more than I did this, but that doesn't really say anything much about either film. It's a low bar either way. Rating-wise, I get us probably a very high CC8.
All right, fair enough. That's what I was saying.
I recommend it. You'll have fun going in. Just go in, chill out with some friends. You'll enjoy it. I don't really have a big issue either way for it. I was largely nonplussed because it's like, well, this is just filler between, time and Infinity War, so whatever.
Yeah, boy. And as you say that, I made this joke on Facebook saying when I could have been watching Infinity War, I watching crap like Rampage.
Right.
But lucky enough, I enjoyed the show for what it was.
Right.
So for me, I would give this a decent 3 out of 5. It was alright.
Yeah, it's fine.
It is what it is. Don't go in expecting too much. Once again, I felt that they tried a little too hard to give us a proper story so we could understand what's going on and we could believe everything was going on. But then at the end of the day, it's a giant ape fighting a giant crocodile and a wolf. What more do you want? Oh yes, and we have this Dwayne Johnson who's impervious to bullets apparently and who can't die. So I mean, what else do you want, right? Anyway, Ricardo, where can we find you online?
Passat RMEDY or Ricardo Medina that's on Twitter, and then you could find me Ricardo Medina on Facebook. You should find me on those 2 places, and I'd be good. I'm trying to start up an Instagram account, but I have no reason to take pictures. But I started my Instagram account.
Alright, well,
you might find me there.
I have an Instagram account. It's called Matthew Bailey Reviews, and what I do there, I put up like basically the pictures that more or less link to what it is we're doing here. So it's like, okay, once a new episode is out, I'm just gonna put a picture just basically telling you guys what it's about, what to expect, and then also just stuff that I love. I love my rap music, I love my movies, so I put up stuff related to that. So Ricardo, I recommend just put up stuff that you love. Don't do the whole selfie stuff. I mean, we not handsome.
No, I just wanted to just try it. I don't know to try it with pictures because I don't know what I'll put up. In terms of pictures, like just pop stuff I love.
What I'd recommend.
I know a lot of people pop food and whatever, but again, just kind of dumb and pointless.
What I recommend, Ricardo, is that you just look up your favorite celebrities, like YouTube celebrities or whatnot, see what they put up, try to get ideas from those, and most importantly, hashtags. Hashtags matter. With all that being said, though, you can find me on Twitter. Just look for Legally Black MJB. MJB in capital letters. You could also find me on Facebook. Just look for Matthew Bailey, along with a Legally Black blog official fan base, where you find a link to this podcast here, as well as the others that we've done over the past couple of years or so. And also, you'll find me on iTunes. Yes, sir. Just look for BS Beats and Bailey. You should find me there. I'm trying to figure out the whole short hyperlink thing for it, because right now I have this long link for my channel, basically. So I'll put the link to that in the description here. But other than that, I just really trying to figure out if there's like a shorter like hyperlink to get to that site. But once I figure out that, because I'm still new to iTunes, please forgive me. I know it's late, but whatever. But yeah. So stuff to look forward to. Boy,
what are you wanting?
Infinity War.
It's finally here.
It's finally here. Just a couple of days again before we see it.
Yeah.
We're gonna see it in glorious IMAX. We have avoided all spoilers. For one thing, what I've been doing, I have been reading up on just the classic Thanos comics. I read Thanos Rising, which was pretty good. I started reading the Infinity Gauntlet, and just off of that first issue, I'm like, okay, this movie is going to be kind of epic and dark and messed up and frightening, but
I remember reading it.
I just really can't.
I remember reading it. Yeah, I remember reading it about 15 years ago for the first time. And it's pretty badass.
Yeah.
But it's such a it don't hold up in terms of concepts. It's such a drug trip concept, like much like Doctor Strange and that weirdo out there, LSD stuff.
Right.
That's what it feels like. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty hyped for this. So Wednesday we go take it in, hopefully, and we go get. Hope I don't deal with no bullshit traffic coming up the road or some fuckery like that.
Yeah. Let's hope not. As far as TV shows go, well, the only two I could think of right now that we could discuss, well, I'm not saying that we'll do it in the next episode, but maybe in the upcoming one, I'm not too sure.
Right.
Dear White People season 2.
Right.
That's supposed to be coming out this week at the time of this recording.
Right.
And also, which was quite unfortunate, the final season of Ash vs. Evil Dead, which is actually a show that I really do follow.
I didn't give it a chance.
Yeah, well, I had a feeling that you didn't really pick up on it, but I am a huge fan of the Evil Dead franchise. Evil Dead 2, just saying this right off the bat, is one of my all-time favorite movies. And Bruce Campbell, he's my boy, right? I love Ash Williams to death. And I was really enjoying, this series here, which airs on Stars, aired on Stars. They do get away a lot with the over-the-top gore and violence and stuff like that, and the, foul language and stuff like that, because it's Stars, they love that kind of shit, right? But yeah, the announcement came out last week at the time of this recording that this episode, which is coming out tonight actually, at the time of this recording, will be the series
final
finale,
episode. I know that.
So as a fan of Evil Dead, I will be checking it out for sure. I have nothing but high hopes for this one, and I actually hearing through the grapevine that this may lead into a potential Evil Dead 4 movie. If that's the case, then I hope that they do that, but I just hope that they do it before, knock on wood, Bruce Campbell kick the bucket, right? So not wishing that on him, but I just hope that he doesn't spend the rest of his career basically just doing this whole Ash Williams bit again and again and again. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so you should expect a review of the final season of Ash vs. Evil Dead in the near future.
Right. Well, recently we got some premieres for the summer. So, Handmaid's Tale season 2 started.
That started.
And then Westworld season 2 started.
Yes, so I'm really excited for that, and also can't wait for Atlanta season 2 to wrap up, because I'm so enjoy binging that. So when that series is done,
they're going through a pretty interesting arc with Earn right now, and I'm really enjoying this season. I've been watching it episode by episode, so I'll be taking it in.
Right. So when that season does wrap up, you could guarantee that you'll get a review from us.
No problem.
And that's pretty much about it. So once again, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This was Matthew Bailey and
Ricardo Medina.
And we are signing off from the 100th episode of Bears Beats and Bailey. So don't know what to expect in the future, but hey, just hope that we get.
We started 101 with an epic movie. So.
Oh yes, and boy, I can't wait. So until the next one, take care, peace.
Yeah.